This project for me is about embodiment. It's about my lived experience as I relate to my hair. It's actually not something you might necessarily find in academic papers because I guess a way of life isn't necessarily always studied. Hairstyles from Nigeria, as I know them, are both functional and aesthetic. There were techniques to help maintain and grow our hair, like Kiko, which is like wrapping hair, or thread to the natural hair to stretch it, or Didi, which is weaving hair backwards. And I grew up not really valuing these hair methods as I do now. But as I moved and lived in a different country, I became fascinated by these hair methods. I braid my hair myself most of the time, um, and others when they let me. And I've especially been fascinated by the styles that I did growing up, um, and the idea of a braid and how I can translate weaving techniques to other things that are not necessarily hair. So I called my friends and my sister, and I was like, I need your heads. This project, Hair is Architecture, started for me as something that I just picked up, a similarity that I picked up. My background is in interior architecture and design. So for me, I was like, this is similar. Architecture is structure. Hey, and hair, as I know it, is structure as well. The Yoruba people of Nigeria believe that the hair is an extension. Well, they believed and they still believe that the hair is an extension of not just your physical head, but your spiritual head. Your head is your glory, and no one can just touch it anyhow. So traditionally, you were expected to do anything and everything you could to take care of your hair. You're supposed to be picking that, even down to the kind of comb you used. It was a representation of that glory, hence the elaborate styles. So I did not create these hairstyles that you see in these pictures, but I've picked up the skill or the art of making hair. And so I am presenting the knowledge I have learned. That's very important. The other aspect of it was seeing this hair as structure, just like architecture. It has its foundation on which it sits, which is the head, like a building does, and it too can replicate complex forms. um, if architecture can be treated like this fragile thing, or not even fragile, let's say delicate, this delicate thing with complex regulations, teaching people how to use it, how to exit it, and even regulations surrounding its construction. And here too, has as a structure has those methods too. You have to protect it at all costs. You need to reflect this at all costs. Um, then we as people who understand and use these forms should seek to care for these elements that help these to thrive. In building you have water, sand, air, concrete, wood. For hair you have water, human, wood, metals. We should be as equally as invested in the components that people don't see. For this project, hair is a medium that I use to execute this knowledge as well as translate this understanding. So hair is architecture is a metaphor as a title, but it's also very literal. And it is not exhaustive, but it is giving a sneak peek to the wealth and the depth of knowledge that can be passed on or shared from a lived experience, from my lived experience.